Welcome all to Off the Cuff, and today with me I have Anand Iyer. He has directed over 400 ad films and recently ventured into OTT with the short film The Closure in the anthology Love in the Time of Corona on Disney Plus. Okay, and obviously he's known for the very popular Mirzapur 3. He was the co-director of that. So we'll talk about Mirzapur definitely and much more. Welcome,
Thank you.
Anand, to Off the Cuff. So tell me, I mean, Mirzapur did great, 1, 2, and 3. Also, you know the reactions it got. Yeah. It's it's gripping story. People knew what they wanted. So we'll start with Mirzapur 3 only.
Sure.
And that was your directorial debut.
Yeah, this was my debut.
Okay,
in the
so
OTT
how did
space.
it go for you?
Are you asking me how did I get about
Get
on?
about getting into Mirzapur 3, and what were your expectations? Because these people, Pankaj Tripathi and some other characters were there for a long time, and you coming into as a new entrant as a director, how was that?
So, like everyone knows, Mirzapur is one of the flagship series
Yes.
of Amazon and probably of the country also. Yeah, and it's been very well received. It's got its own staunch fan following and
Yes.
everything. And it obviously stems from the fact that each of the characters who are there in the series, they've got a very strong identity, they've got a
Yes.
very strong character arc
Yes.
and everything. And that has developed over a period of time, over 2 seasons. Yeah. So technically the latest entrant was me.
Okay.
Yeah. So everything was so strong, so well etched out.
Yes.
So I had to just be there, contribute to it. So a few new characters were something that we could play around with, but otherwise, the main principal characters were there. We had to stick to their arc and everything.
Very true. And this 3 came after what, 4 years of
4 years and like what I'd like to call the COVID brain fog.
Yes,
Only because 2 saal nikal gaye COVID mein and it takes 2 years definitely to
for
get
such a long go, yeah.
Yeah, so that also stems from the fact that it's got an extensive star cast.
Yes, it does.
And they're very popular actors.
Yes.
And they're great. I mean, they're very much in demand. Be it Pankaj Ji, Ali, Vijay Verma, Shweta Tripathi,
Yes.
all of them. Rasika.
Rasika.
They're all doing multiple shows and over multiple platforms. So, what happened sadly due to COVID is a lot of the dates were thrown into a tizzy, and it was like a domino effect.
I can
Then one had to work around everyone's dates and everything, and that was one of the major factors that contributed to the delay. So technically, if you see, we went on floors in 2022, July 2022.
Oh, so you started around that time.
July 2022, and we were ready for it to air. We had given everything to Amazon around December 23.
Okay.
But then they already had the log sheets as to what they're going to be airing when and everything. So then it came out in July 24.
Okay.
So technically it took 2 years.
Yeah. And I just like marvel. I know they are wonderful actors, all of them. But coming into character after 4 years of doing other things, and how difficult is it for them to start on that same plane? And everybody obviously missed Munna Bhai जो character थे. खैर वो मैं पूछूंगी नहीं because you've been asked that question. But for me that is a difficult thing, But I
Getting
don't-
into character.
Yeah, after 4 years.
But that's why they are who they are. No?
Who they are, I guess so.
Yeah, and somewhere I feel they have this affinity, this sort of love for Mirzapur because they feel it is a series which has given them their standing or whatever, be it Pankaj Ji or Ali or Shweta. They were well-known names, but then Mirzapur catapulted them to a different thing because they went more massier because of that.
Yes.
And it was one of the first shows of Amazon and everything. So yeah, it did have that advantage also.
Absolutely. And like, I read you've made 400 plus ad films.
Yeah.
And coming from the world of advertisement into a long stretch of, OTT web series, how did you have to adapt two different mediums.
So each medium has its own challenges. Yeah?
Yes.
30 seconds if you have to say a story and
Yeah.
then sell a product, give out the product attributes, and convince the buyer to go out and buy the product. It is a challenge in itself. At the same time, in the longer format, while you have the luxury of time and everything, you also need to have an equally strong story to hold the audience's interest.
That is true.
You can't afford to meander and suddenly the audience interest dips and everything. That is where the whole thing of storytelling comes into play. A very good script. That's why I always say, the writers are the magicians behind the screen. Who never come into the fore, and they're the ones who actually put out such a good script, engaging script. Yes, you add your little nuances every here and there. You add those little tadkas here and there. The actors come on, bring in their own quirks. Fair enough.
Yeah.
But somewhere you need the base. The base needs to be strong.
Absolutely, and in the end, director is the captain of the ship. I feel. The script needs to be good. Actors need to be good. But जब last shots तो फिर director ही देता है ना. So
So what I always feel, a film or a series is never a one-man thing. It's a team effort. It's a team effort. And where everyone comes together, contributes in a certain manner. So I would, yes, maybe some calls you take as a director, but there are a lot of people who contribute to that. And
I can get what you're saying, because this is after all an OTT series.
Yeah.
But I think when we watch movies, we see a Imtiaz Ali movie.
Sure.
It has a stamp of Imtiaz Ali. Sanjay Leela, we know this is going
Absolutely.
to. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I think it's different for films in OTT.
Yeah. So again, see, an OTT is a series where you have set a tone and everything, and it spans over seasons. Okay?
Yes.
And whereas the movie is something which is there for 2.5 hours.
Yes.
And an OTT is probably an hour. Every episode is an hour.
hours.
Yeah, it's almost like 3 movies.
Yeah.
So so again, it also depends. Like an OTT today, if I've done a Mirzapur, tomorrow if I probably do something on the lines of a Made in Heaven, the look, feel is completely
Very
different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
So it's again like advertising. Each ad needs to look different from the other because you're doing different things.
Yeah.
Whereas in films, a particular kind of filmmaker or whatever, the approach to him making films. That said, you spoke about Imtiaz and Sanjay Leela Bansal, stalwarts in their own rights and everything. I really admire another filmmaker by the name of Shimit Amin.
I've heard his name.
Yes.
Yes.
So he's done something as varied as Rocket Singh.
Oh yes,
He's done
good
Ab
one.
Tak Chappan.
I loved that.
And he's done Chak De.
Oh yes.
So there you go. Three
उसका
different.
नाम नहीं आता
So
था।
exactly.
Thank you for mentioning.
No, so
people like
here
this.
is my thing. If a writer can write 5 different kinds of scripts, why can't a director direct 5 different kinds of scripts which look different? It needed.
Very different.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So like all the 3 films that I spoke about are completely different from each other.
Yeah. I know. I think just as superstars get kind of put in a box because of their persona. I think directors का भी ये हाल हो रहा है, which is kind of sad. अब संजय लीला बंसाली suddenly makes something that Govind Nilani does, that's going to shock people.
Yeah, but
they can do it.
Exactly.
I hope
Exactly.
you experiment with what you're doing.
I would love to.
Yeah,
I would love to.
I look forward to more work from you. And we are sitting here at the Sala 2024 South Asian Literature and Art Festival at Stanford, and Anand Iyer is coming here for the first time.
Yeah, it's my first time.
So tell me about your experience of Sala.
So, I really enjoyed the vibe. There's such nice people, and it's almost like a melting pot of creativity. You meet people who are doing various different things, and it suddenly opens your mind to the whole world, and you see what all people are doing, what all they're working on, and it's fantastic. You feed off each other, the kind of energies that are there out here, and I loved it. I loved every bit of it. Yeah. And you get so much to learn because there's never an age where you stop learning, right? Every day you pick up something and you learn things.
Yeah.
aspects.
So, any panel discussions that you went to and you would like to mention?
So I just got out of the panel discussion. The first lady of Bihar Police,
Yes. Manjari.
Manjari ji and Vikram Chandra.
Okay.
And it was fantastic. And what is very commendable is her journey as a woman. Yeah, and they also, that's the real journey of a woman who is a first-hand experience. Then you have Vikram, who's written something as fabulous as Sacred Games.
Yes.
Which also delves into the life of a cop. So there were comparisons drawn, and there were questions about, did he get inspired by real life characters and everything, and there were parallels that were trying to be drawn. So it was fantastic. It was fantastic.
Yeah, it's wonderful to get into the minds of people. Here I had the opportunity to talk to Manjari ji also for an interview, and it's amazing to see how minds work. Like you are in a completely different league. She's coming from a different, and all of you are coming here to talk about your experiences. So one last question will be like, what attracted you to directions, or did you start with something other than direction?
Funnily, like I was mentioning yesterday on my panel, I am a qualified biochemist.
Okay.
I got my admissions to Johns Hopkins for my PhD.
Oh, lovely.
So I was supposed to join in the fall semester. I got to know around May, so I had 3 months on hand. So I decided, let me try and pick up a job in the interim. So I saw an ad in the newspaper called Midday in India, which said model coordinators required for a agency. So then I said, okay, fine, three months, model coordinators, I'll get to see all the good-looking women and everything. So it's a nice thing to take up as long as it pays me and everything. So okay, fine, I took it up, and what happened was 3 weeks into my job, I went for my first shoot ever. I mean, the first time I set foot on a... So I was representing the agency, advertising agency. So there's something called the films or the media department. So I went for the shoot, and it was a Siaram's commercial, which was being shot by Shashi Kapoor's son, Kunal Kapoor.
Kunal, long time back.
Yeah, long time back. I'm talking about a good 30 years back.
Yes.
So I went there, I saw the whole process of it happening, and then the post-production of it, and then how the music was composed. I fell in love with it. People were actually enjoying themselves. It was not a chore.
I know.
It was not a chore. It's like a blessing wherein, I will do this job, but it's not a job. I'll go have fun and get paid for it. So what more can you ask for?
Yeah. I think it's where where your passion leads you.
Completely.
And internal joy lies.
Absolutely.
I think wo hi karna chahiye. They say you have only one life to live, and if you can manage your life, around those finances, that's even better.
True.
Because in the end, it also comes to the practical. Everybody says passion karo, but we have to face the hard realities of life.
Absolutely.
Also, that's why you guys are so inspiring. In the way you are leading your life, and in the end, what's coming up next for you?
So season 4 is definitely coming up. Yeah.
Okay.
And then I just shot a short film, which was a pet project, which was in the back burner for the longest time.
Okay.
So it finally fructified, and Ravi Kishan was graceful enough to give 2 days of his time to be a part of it. And I feel it's like a blessing in disguise, because now the film that he starred in, the one directed by Kiran Rao.
Kiran and Lapata
Ladies is India's entry to the Oscars for the 2025 Oscars. Yeah. So wo hai, and then there are a few talks that are happening for films.
Okay.
Films also, and other series also. Like I said, it's a process. It takes its time. Unlike advertising, which is instant gratification. एक महीने में सब कुछ होके चलो, okay, bye, tata.
Yeah. It's a very different world, I have to say, and I think it challenges you in different ways creatively.
True.
So wishing you the best,
Thank you so
Anand.
much.
It was so
Thank you.
lovely talking
Thank
to
you
you.
so much.
And thank you for coming on Off the
Thank
Cuff.
you.
Hope you enjoyed the talk, listeners.
I had great fun being here. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.